The Galactic Republic is now at war with Separatists, all starting Geonosis. The Jedi's who were there to keep the peace have now been assigned as generals for this war. I, the commander, was given a battalion of not my choice, the 117th, known as the Comet Droppers, for their wacky ideas of dropping into battlefields from orbit. I don't know why. Could have given it to a Jedi, but I think I'm qualified for it. But now I've been assigned to head out to the Outer Rim from the core worlds, taking out any separatist outposts and roads that are owned, in the hopes of easing our troops through the core worlds. I just pray and hope we go through this all and push through. This is Commander Orin signing off. Welcome to the Star Wars Empire at War Awakening of the Clone Wars. This is a what would have been a long in-game play narrative talk at this point is actually going to be a voiceover of me describing the events that happened during this, and then hopefully the next time I do this, which isn't maybe the next episode, I might have fixed everything and have it be in game. Just a moment, felt a bit off, so I wanted to just be a bit more clearer. So, for starters, of course, I went around the map, looked at what I could find that I can use, sent troops over to, well, mainly the fleets over to defend points of the maps that I own, sent Padme over to, which planet was it again? Yeah, Brental, which was in the core worlds, to have easy access from Coruscant to Korat, while also planning to take Balmora from the Separatists, as it was the one planet off against the others, because next to it was Kura, and it's the only way in and out. So I thought it'd be easier to go and take that. I also did a few other stuff while waiting for the acclimator to pop up. And once it was there, I was about to send it over to Balmora, but then the mission on that I received to build a medium space dockyard on Scarif was done, which then let me get a Hornet carrier for Scarif, which was good. Which then I went and I do believe get a dreadnought they built, and so there was more ships there. Which then I started the battle on Balmora in space battle, obviously. Which then was the first of what will probably be many fails in space battles to come. Which I do went in there to attack, but with a sort of plan in mind, which was go in, scope out how they were, and then place the fleet around how I wanted to, but the layout never was on my side, especially the spawn points, the layout of the space docks and the ships. During the fight, I was overwhelmed and I felt like it was too much. I held my ground for a bit, obviously, as much as I could, but at some point I did have to fall back while hoping to not lose as much as the ships, which led to the first falling of the first space battle, which I do hope to fix in the next time I did, which by adding more fleets. After the retreat of the first space battle on uh Balmora, I went and go, okay, so I am going to build up my fleet a bit more and get ready to strike. which then I also did get a mission set on Kuwait, which was sending a senator over there with a certain amount of credits at a certain time point, and I would have got a ship, a Victory 1 Star Destroyer, which was very helpful. But during that time, in the waiting process and the building of the fleet, the Separatists decided to attack one of the planets I had, which was Kenya, by sending Ventress and two bounty hunters onto it, which I wasn't prepared as I didn't build any defenses in the ground or in space for it. So I could have just, went and, got rid of everything and then let them take it. But I was like, no, I'll see how much I can do. During the battle, I had one set of troopers, not even the clones, they were like the basic ones. But luckily on Kenya, there was the Grands, uh, in which, thanks to them, I had extra troops, and of course, the troops you get for the buildings you have to defend. So I went and first I went to get turrets to defend, which in the end didn't do their job. I lost one group of Grands against Ventress, Embo, and Bosca. It was only the Emperor, but the Emperor alone could do a lot of damage, so I was a bit panicking. Uh, in which then, like I said, built turrets, and then what I did was at first I wanted to group everyone together in the center, but then they took the under part of the map, as in the one below, and was heading towards my base. So I moved everyone back to it. So yeah, Bosca and Bo were attacking the base. So with the little troops I had, I held the ground there until the rest could join up through the little passageway upwards, which was convenient. Which, in doing so, I actually defeat Bosca and Embo there. Which then, instead of going out to hunt Ventress, I decided to play a waiting game and bring her towards me. Which then actually led to her to coming after me, and surprisingly won the battle. Even more shocking terms, I didn't even lose a single troop that was not obviously free. So the ones that were there to begin with, they never got killed, so that was a bonus. So yeah, Ventress was dead. Uh, Embo was dead. Bosca somehow escaped. I don't know how. Pretty sure I defeated him. So yeah, Kenya was saved, which then, thanks to that, gave me time to focus on building the fleet up, which then I got the Victory 1 Star Destroyer. A few, I think, a lot more of the frigates with the ion capabilities from older on, a lot more fighters, and I think a few dreadnoughts. Still, I think had one acclimator, maybe two or not. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see in the clips. Uh, yeah, I was in the process of during the second battle of Balmora. I had everything set up. I was planning to send out the fighters first with the bombers. I had the frigates with the ions set closely at the front to do max damage, hopefully. And then I had the invincible in the back to kind of deal with the fighters as I get near the Victory Star Destroyer and Acclimator. And of course, the frigate that was the healing capability on the ships. But as I was preparing to set out, I went to see how far they were, and they were with this not same obvious position. So I sent one fighter out to kind of sort of bring them towards me, and hopefully, get their attention, so that instead of me going towards them and being fired at, bring them closer to me to take them out one by one ish. But of course, didn't count for the magnificence to having a long range capability. So once they started firing, I started to send out my entire fleet to attack, in which led to the loss of three frigates with the iron capabilities and all of my fighters and bombers that were not part of the ships, obviously. Well, they also went, but I meant in terms of paying. But in the end, this battle was a complete success. I destroyed them all the big ships. The fighters escaped, and then I destroyed the Lucas Hull and the medium dockyard, which was a good success, I would say. Still have to pay for more, but then after that, okay, the first ground battle of Balmora went, I would say, good as enough to weaken them. I only had two ATTEs, one lat, bunch of clones, one squadron of non-clones, and some speeders. So, and of course, the enemy had their own air vehicles to use, which they were gone at one point. So my plan was there was a two abandoned mining facilities there. So I took them over and gained some extra credits to build any turrets on the way to kind of help ease the damage on my troops. Uh, but I sent three clone troopers into the lab and I'd send them over across to the other side of the map to kind of take over that landing spot or any buildings there that weren't defended, in which there was a droid factory there, lo and behold. So that made it easier. But in the end, the numbers and the bunker turret was quite a lot. So I went into a full retreat after taking out their troop deployer vehicle. During the second attempt to take in Balmora, I had the same two ATTEs, LAT, Speeder, but I lost some troopers, so I've gained some more via a rocket company. I think I did lose Speeders, but then I got some new ones. But then I didn't have enough to send the rest in, so I went and do the same plan. This time I bought one Rocketeer unit. There was some pirates in the attack as well. So once that was loaded with the troops, I sent them over to take the control point on that end, and then try to bring them in. But in the end, it didn't go as planned, and they were all annihilated by the bunker turret, the air defense, and a whole lot of AATs. So I had to rely on what was left at the main base as they were pushing downwards. In which, lo and behold, they managed to push through and actually win the fight. In doing so, making us take over Balmora, making it so that I can now focus more outwards from the core world. After no, but yeah, thankfully they took Balmora, and of course, which then led to me building a outpost on it, and not enough credits to form a space station, which was fine at the moment. And then that's where I ended the video off because it's been like over an hour. Which I've shortened down this editing to 14, roughly 15 minutes, basically. But other than that, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you make a longer one and a more in-game narrative. Thank you for watching. Bye.